Welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host Yeshi. Here are the headlines. Protests mount in Sri Lanka as economic crisis deepens. POK Gilgit-Baltistan stare at more suffering as Pakistan plunges into political crisis. And famous Surajkund International Craft Fair attracts visitors in India's Faridabad city. Let's begin the show with Sri Lanka, an island nation which has been struggling with the massive economic crisis. The residents here are reeling under soaring inflation and huge shortages of fuel, gas, food and even everyday staples. They have accused the government of the crisis and took to the streets in protest against the government. We have a report.
Massive protests have erupted in various parts of Sri Lanka over shortages of food, fuel and prolonged power cuts as the country struggles with a rapidly deteriorating economic situation. The situation has triggered an unrest where people have taken to streets demanding the government to step down. The prices of fruits and vegetables more than doubled over the past few weeks, making the essential items out of reach for the commoner's plate.
They are a cancer to this country. None of these people are depending on them. We are doing our job. Majority of us are corporate sector or doing our own business. All what we want is a peaceful country. We don't want any other solution. Just Rajapaksa should get out of this country and they should bring back all the money that they robbed. It's about 19 billion we have heard. We have heard not from outsiders. From the own politicians we have heard that they have robbed 19 billion rupees. They should bring back all this money. This is our own money. We have worked hard. We have earned this money to this country, not for them to ruin the country.
Over the past decade, the Sri Lankan government has borrowed vast sums of money from foreign lenders to fund public services. This borrowing spree has coincided with a series of hammer blows to Sri Lankan economy from both natural disasters such as heavy monsoons to man-made catastrophes, including a government ban on chemical fertilizers that decimated farmers' harvests. These problems were compounded in 2018 when the president's dismissal of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe sparked a constitutional crisis the following year, when hundreds of people at churches and luxury hotels were killed in the 2019 Easter bombing and from 2020 onwards with the arrival of the COVID-19 pandemic. Sri Lanka then had to fall back on its foreign exchange reserves to pay off government debt, shrinking its reserves from $6.9 billion in 2018 to $2.2 billion this year. This impacted imports of fuel and other essentials, which sent prices soaring.
We are here on behalf of Sri Lanka, the entire nation. So we are facing so many crises. We have no money, people are struggling, people have no food, people have nothing, people have no gas to cook, people have no money to buy food. So this has to stop. Something has to change in this country. So we are here to make that change. And we will fight until this thing changes. Gotabe has to go home.
ඉතින් කිසිම සාධාරණයක් වෙලාවක් නැහැ මේ වෙනකන් මේ රටේ අපේ ජනතාවට. ඒක ජීවත් වෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ වෙන ගැටලුවක් කියලා දින්න අපිට.
Sri Lanka is now seeking financial support from the International Monetary Fund and turning to regional powers that may be able to help. It has also requested help from India and China. New Delhi has already issued a credit line of $1 billion in March. There is still much uncertainty around the island nation. Sri Lanka has to repay about $4 billion in debt over the rest of this year, including a $1 billion international sovereign bond that matures in July.
Moving on, Indo-Nepal bilateral relationship seems to have received a fresh impetus with Himalayan nation's Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba visiting India for 3 days last week. Entire gamut of ties was reviewed. The two sides also acknowledged and kicked off the jointly accomplished infrastructural projects. A joint statement was released that underlined both sides' commitment to resolve any form of hiccups and apprehensions through dialogue. PM Dioba also paid a visit to India's spiritual capital Varanasi, which emphasized the centuries-old cultural ties between the two countries. Experts have called it a productive engagement. Today, we are joined by Anil Giri, a political analyst who will be throwing some light on Indo-Nepal relations from the visit of Nepal Prime Minister to India. Mr. Anil, South Asian region is going through unprecedented times with countries like Pakistan and Sri Lanka undergoing different forms of political crisis. In such a time, how do you see the recent visit of Nepalese Prime Minister to India?
Prime Minister Deoba's visit to India was planned much earlier also. But due to some internal reasons, so he couldn't travel to India. The first thing is that. The second thing is that he was also again invited by the Indian establishment in January to attend the Gujarat summit, and that was also cancelled. And since Nepal is holding the election to local bodies, so there is a very narrow window, very small window for the Prime Minister to travel to India, as both sides were eager to meet and have an exchange of a high-level visit. So I think this is only the timing. Otherwise, Prime Minister would visit much before to India, since he assumed the office in July. That is why yes, there is some changes in geopolitics in South Asia and across the country, across the globe. But Nepal-India relation is very stable, and Nepal-India relations has a very different kind of dimensions than what appears to be outside the world.
How do you look at the future ties between the two countries? Where are they headed as of now, according to you?
There is one very popular proverb in English: you can change your friends, but you cannot change your neighbors. So India and China is Nepal's reality. We cannot change our neighbors. We cannot change India and China. So that is why there is no room for India or no room for Nepal to become isolated to each other. Okay? We cannot sustain a long void or vacuum in our bilateral ties. We have to engage with India at any cost. See our relations, the dynamics of our relations with India. So definitely, it is a relations that has been that has been characterized as a multifaceted kind of things. Our borders are open. People don't need to visa to travel to each other country. So the future of the Nepal-India relations is very much certain and very much promising also.
Different prime ministers have seemingly pursued a different India policy in past few years. What, according to you, is the correct policy, keeping in view the kind of development Nepal is looking at owing to joint efforts?
As of now, we don't have any India policy or China policy or US policy, because relation keeps on changing. This foreign policy issues look at the outside the world. Every minute there is a new kind of changing happening. So we cannot say that we have the India policy or we have the China policy or US policy. And when the regime change in Kathmandu, we also see some kind of changes or some kind of shift in our relation with India or China or other country. Okay, so every prime minister in Kathmandu said we deal with India while keeping our national interest in the core.
Thank you, Mr. Anil Giri, for sharing your thoughts. The ongoing political crisis in Pakistan has created a worrisome situation in its illegally occupied territories as well. While their economy is already in deteriorated state, many institutions now fear a complete collapse. Amid such circumstances, while many have started demonstrating, there are several others who believe that it will further elevate their sufferings. We have a report.
Pakistan is grappling with an unprecedented political crisis, and the spiraling instability in the country is said to have bearings all around. While its economy was already reeling owing to Islamabad's flawed policies, the other institutions too fear cracks or complete collapse amidst this deteriorating situation. And while the media world over is focusing on the country's power center and its close proximity, it is the people in the illegally occupied regions who are more fearful of their imminent future. Like lawyers in Gilgit-Baltistan have no idea how the situation would pan out for them. They have been holding demonstrations demanding a judicial bench in what has been declared against their will a provisional province of Pakistan.
हमारा आईनी सूबा अभी पूरी आईनी सूबा बनने जा रहा है और ये पाकिस्तान के साथ जंग होने जा रहा है। उसके लिए जो आईनी मसौदा तैयार किया गया उस मसौदे के अंदर हमारे डिवीजन में ड्यामर में हाई कोर्ट की बेंच का कोई जिक्र मौजूद नहीं है। उसके लिए हमारे वकला, हमारे अवाम, हमारे सियासी मजहबी तमाम तंजीमें यानी पूरा ड्यामर इस पर सरापा एहतजाज है कि उस मसौदे के अंदर हमारे ड्यामर के डिवीजन का बेंच हाई कोर्ट का मसौदे में शामिल होना जरूरी है।
There is another set of people which has been at the receiving end of state's favoritism and nepotistic policies. Favoritism has not only hampered career growth of these forest guards, but has clearly pushed them into a territory where they not only feel discriminated against, but also inferior to even their juniors. The political instability in the country is only going to prolong their pain. Some who are just months away from their retirement might never see their right being accorded to them.
हमारे साथ ये जुल्म की इब्तदा 2016 में स्टार्ट हुई क्योंकि हमारा कोटा बनता था। जो फॉरेस्ट गार्ड्स हैं उनका कोटा बनता था, 50% कोटा है, प्रमोशन कोटा। उस कोटे को वायलेट किया गया 2016 से ताहाल अभी तक हम वो खमियाजा भुगत रहे हैं। जो उस वक़्त के चीफ थे हमारे डॉक्टर शफीकर रहमान साहब, उन्होंने 2016 में ऐसे लोगों को यानी खाली मतवक्को खाली होने वाली पोस्टों पे 2018 तक फिल कर दी। उसका नुकसान अभी तक हम भुगत रहे थे, लेकिन अभी मज़ीद जो आने वाले चीफ साहिबान हैं उन्होंने भी उन्हीं की रिवश को अख्तियार करते हुए इसी तरह हमें फिर रगड़े में लगा दिया है। हम लोग मैं ज़ाती तौर पे मेरी 30 साल सर्विस है, यानी मुझे अभी इंतज़ार है कि मैं भी प्रमोट होऊंगा, लेकिन यहाँ पे 35 साल सर्विस के अमल लोग बैठे हुए हैं और हम ये चाहते हैं कि उन लोगों को उनका हक मिलना चाहिए। यानी के जो सीरियल से सीनियरिटी है, सीनियरिटी के 1 नंबर से स्टार्ट करें आप, उसमें जो भी आता हो, वो काला है, सफ़ेद है, वो जिस बरादरी से है, हमें उससे कोई गरज नहीं है, लेकिन हम ये चाहते हैं कि वो सीनियरिटी को फॉलो किया जाए, कानून और ज़ाब्ते को फॉलो किया जाए।
People of illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan and POK have had years of disappointment in the form of state discrimination and state atrocities. And that was when a firm, stable dispensation was at the helm of affairs in Islamabad. Experts fear a political instability in Islamabad might give Pakistan authorities a chance to treat people of the region the way they want under the pretext of this leadership vacuum. This will mark a period which people of the region would never want to see, but might have to endure if the crisis protracted any longer.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in our segment called Asia Watch.
Japan's Yaskawa company has developed an industrial robot with artificial intelligence which determines the color and shape of the objects and transports them to their correct position. Yaskawa company is evolving in various fields including the automobile industry and parts manufacturing according to the needs of the era.
今現在市場、ものづくりの世界の中でコロナの蔓延ということで接触というのもできなくなったということもありますが、労働力が不足しているというところがあります。技能のプロフェッショナルがやっぱり高齢化して、なかなか引き継げないということで人が少なくなっているということがありますので、そこの自動化ですねを進めたいと。単純な量産というのではなくなってきているということがありますので、変種変量に対応するものづくりのソリューションが必要になると。
Yaskawa is promoting the solution concept IQ Mechatronics to realize a new industrial automation revolution. IQ means Integrated, Intelligent, Innovative. At the Industrial Robot Expo held in Tokyo this March, a demonstration introducing Yaskawa's latest technology attracted attention. In the demonstration, robots with different roles work properly. Each robot has artificial intelligence and works independently. The instructor robots give efficient instructions to each robot about work situation. The robots communicate with each other to work autonomously and more efficiently. Yaskawa's electric technology has the mission to support global manufacturing industry continuously.
Malaysia reopened its borders, fully allowing entry without quarantine for visitors vaccinated against COVID-19, much to the delight of travelers. Malaysia has since March 2020 maintained some of the tightest entry curbs in Asia to try to contain COVID outbreaks, with most foreign nationals barred from entry and returning Malaysians required to undergo quarantine. The reopening follows similar steps taken by neighbors Singapore, Thailand, Cambodia, Philippines, Vietnam and Indonesia, with quarantine waived for vaccinated travelers with negative COVID tests before departure and after arrival. Basra residents strolled between flower beds, roses and gardens at Basra's Fifth Flowers exhibition, a flower and plant show that aims to encourage citizens to green their gardens. Enough with concrete cities that are full of stone streets and asphalt, a retired teacher Hassan Al-Dhir said, adding that he was hoping local authorities would increase their efforts in planting trees in the city. Climate change, wars and the oil industry are factors that contributed to desertification in Basra, a province once known for its garden, orchards and palm groves. Flowers and plants exhibited included varieties that survived dry weather, and more than 30 companies participated in the event. The exhibition will remain open to the public throughout the month of Ramadan, offering visitors the opportunity to not only admire flowers but also buy them and spread refreshing moments in the green areas dotting the exhibition grounds. Sudanese artist and mosaic lover Abu Bakr al-Sharif has been teaching art students and amateurs the art form since 2010. In a country where mosaics are not very popular nor available, Sharif aspires to collaborate with both artists and companies to fill public spaces with mosaic portraits of important national figures. Creating mosaics for the past 17 years, Sharif said he had to devise ways to use ceramics instead of usual stone and glass, as it is not readily available and expensive. Mosaic art was introduced at the Faculty of Fine and Applied Arts in Sudan in 2005, according to the faculty's dean Abdul Rahman Abdullah. Despite the efforts of Sharif and the introduction to the curriculum, Sharif said that the art form is a rare in Sudan, as it is more widespread in North Africa and other regions that were once ruled by the Roman Empire. China launched a new Earth observation satellite from Jiuquan Satellite Launch Center in northwest China's Gobi Desert. The satellite Gofen 303 was launched by a Long March 4C rocket at 7:47 and has entered the planned orbit successfully. The satellite will be networked with orbiting Gofen 3 and Gofen 302 satellites to form a land-sea radar satellite constellation and capture reliable, stable, synthetic aperture radars images. It will serve the fields of marine disaster prevention and mitigation, dynamic marine environment monitoring, marine research, environmental protection, water conservancy, agriculture and meteorology, while helping to safeguard maritime rights and interests of the country.
This is the roadside station Kisarazu Umakuta Nosato in Kisarazu City, Chiba Prefecture. Inside the store, there is a large peanut statue. Chiba Prefecture produces the largest amount of peanuts in Japan and therefore is a local specialty here. A farm cafe restaurant and tree is located in the corner of the store. It is a popular restaurant with a menu that uses plenty of local vegetables. In the popular meal menu, especially peanut soft cream is one of the restaurant's most popular one.
やっぱり千葉県ということで何が有名かと考えたときにやはりピーナッツという案が多かったので、あとはピーナッツのバニラの味に負けないような 強いソフトクリームの味になるようなピーナッツのソフトクリームを開発いたしました。
The peanut soft ice cream is the original one of this restaurant, created in consultation with the manufacturer Nisei, along with careful attention to the blending ratio so that the flavor of vanilla is not too strong and the peanut aroma is enhanced. The peanut soft cream was created in this way. It has the perfect balance of flavor to attract from small children to adults.
なんかピーナッツが濃厚でバニラもすごい甘くて美味しいです。
This restaurant also sells soft ice cream made with Kisarazu's specialty blueberry. This soft ice cream provides crunchy feeling which is similar to that of shaved ice. Furthermore, the unique shape of this soft cream is popular among tourists. People who buy soft ice cream take memorial photos with soft cream in front of a large peanut object. The restaurant manager also encourages the customers to post them on social media. Soft cream made with local peanuts has rich and delicious taste, and its unique shape contributes to attract visitors and future visitors on social media.
Let's move to India, where the fairs and festivals are back after the COVID-19 restrictions are over. Today, we take you to the famous Surajkund International Crafts Fair on the outskirts of capital New Delhi, which showcases the vibrant culture, arts and handicrafts of the country. It also invited many international artists and craftsmen. Take a look.
Vibrant arts, intricate handicrafts and delicious food. The annual Surajkund Fair displayed vibrant and diverse colours of India. Held annually on the outskirts of capital New Delhi, Surajkund Fair not only attracted local artists but also provided a platform to artisans and craftspersons from some 20 countries. This year, Uzbekistan was the partner nation and the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir as the theme state. The fair, held after a gap of 2 years due to COVID-19 pandemic, attracted a large number of people who enjoyed shopping and witnessed the rich culture of different states.
It's a nice experience. This is my second time that I'm coming within a span of a week, and the view is beautiful. In fact, this time after a span of 2 years, the handicraft has improved, and I bought one from a Gujarat handicraft. That's all handmade bag. I got bed sheets also from the Rajasthan people. The block printing, in fact, though the prices have gone up after the span of 2 years, but yes, it was beautiful.
The annual Surajkund International Craft Fair provides a good opportunity for craftspeople to sell their products directly to customers. On the other hand, the international participants get a chance to sell their products in the Indian market and they interact with local traders. Participants from SAARC member countries, Southeast Asia and Middle East participated in large numbers.
Surajkund is happening every year on months of February, so that's actually best weather in India. The timing is very great. I bring every year Afghan carpets. This is my several times I'm visiting to Surajkund Mela. So people really love Afghan carpets also in India, in the world. I have all Afghani handmade carpets. These are all pure wool. Lifetime usable, it's all handmade.
Surajkund Fair not only provides an opportunity to shop and eat but enjoy folk songs and dances from different parts of the country. Truly, the annual Surajkund International Craft Fair remains a hub of India's rich and diverse culture.
It's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We will be back next week at the same time. This is Yeshi signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.